Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to OzByDrone Live, and this is the global fly-in. We've got our special guest co-host today, Kelly from Ready Set Drone. Hey Kelly.
Hey, how's it going everybody? Good to see you guys. It's cool because I see a lot of people in both chats. So if you're watching this on one channel, blow your own mind and open up both channels and, hear it in stereo.
Yeah, sounds good. We've also got John Morrison in the background, our regular co-host. G'day, John.
Hey, g'day, guys. How you doing? Hi, Kelly.
Good to see you, John. I understand you've been playing the drums a little bit lately, or is that something that you've been doing your whole life?
Yeah, I was born with that affliction, actually. So, you got to learn to live with it, don't you?
And we were told by Greg that tonight, if we tell any jokes, they have to be drum-related jokes. So let's get on a roll with that. So anybody out there got drum-related jokes, throw them in the chat.
Yeah, we're going to do drummer jokes.
Anything, yeah, we will do some drummer jokes. But before we do anything, we've already got someone ready to fly. So let's go and switch to our flyer over there. We've got Mike Miller.
Hey, Mike. Wow, Mike's in a nice spot.
So he's going to be listening to us on YouTube, so we're going to have to try and ignore that just a little bit. Sorry about the echo, but Mike, go and take off. I'll just turn down the volume from that a little bit.
See, now take off, that's more Canadian than it is Australian. Take off, eh?
Launch. Let's go, let's go.
Down and in, Mike.
He's only just catching up now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a timing issue, kind of much like drummers.
Nice one.
Do we know where we are? What's the location, roughly?
So, good question. He's going to hear us, with the time delay caused by YouTube and so on. So he'll tell us at some point where he is.
You're getting airborne now.
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
That's a beautiful picture we're getting here.
It's
all live, folks. Live flying. Yeah, we can.
I don't know if you can.
Just catching up now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a timing issue, kind of much like drummers. Yeah, we got to hear that joke twice. That was good. So, good question. He's going to hear us, with the time delay caused by YouTube and so on. So he'll tell us at some point where he is.
You're getting airborne now.
So just so you know, Mike, and this will be delayed again.
I'm in Martinez, California.
Martinez, California. There we go. There's the delay. So we know where he is now.
It's all live, folks. Live flying. Yeah, we can.
Oh yeah, Mike's also chatting in the chat, so we got that. So Mike, when you get this, I'm curious, is this fresh or salt water that we're seeing?
Yeah, we got to hear that joke twice. That was good. That was the third time of the joke. Let's turn that down. I'll leave his audio down a bit because it's a bit distracting. Yeah. So to anyone that wants to fly today, there's instructions in the chat room there. So by all means, go and fly. Go and take off where you are. This is a global fly-in. While people still have lockdowns, we can go and take a holiday. We're going and traveling to where Mike is today and having a look at that beautiful footage where he is today. We'd like to also have a holiday to wherever you are, wherever that may be, and go on a virtual trip.
Man, the picture's beautiful.
He must have an ND filter on the camera because you can really see those clouds. They're just popping.
Yep.
This is in the Carquinez Strait. It empties into the San Francisco Bay. I believe it is freshwater.
So to anyone that wants to fly today, so I'll turn that down again. Mike, if you could do us a favor and turn off your YouTube audio just so we don't hear ourselves back. We can still hear you. You can tell us anything you like and we'll hear it. You talk about where you are, and that would be good.
We'd like to also have a holiday to wherever you are, wherever that may be, and go on a virtual trip.
I'll leave that down in the background there. But some nice footage.
I'm texting him to ask if he can narrate a bit more.
I do have an ND8.
He does have an ND8 filter I just heard there in the background. And just a quick message to anyone else that wants to go fly where you are today. Love to have you go fly, but leave your audio from YouTube turned off and you just narrate and talk to us and we'll include your audio, hopefully without this hole in space and time that we're having at the moment.
Yeah, good audio feed comes through the device, doesst it? Directly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a nice way to do it. I know the smart controller does the same thing. You may be using, so we don't know what aircraft it is. That's all what I like to know too. So maybe you can let us know what machine we're flying. Anybody want to have a guess?
In the chat room, if you want to have a guess as to what aircraft Mike's flying.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm going to guess. Well, it's definitely got a gimbal.
Yeah.
We got that going for us.
It could be DJI.
It could be a DJI. I was actually trying to think of the of like the most unlikely aircraft to come up with, but I couldn't think of anything. You know, a Bugs 3.
I was about to say a Bugs, yeah.
Well, I was thinking of SEMA 5. It looks a little better, though, than my SEMA 5.
Yeah, it does.
Well, usually the SEMA 5 about this time would be in the water, so that's how mine would go.
That's right.
Especially if I'm flying it.
I'm guessing he's moved downwind as well. You can see the wind on the water to the left of the screen and being blanketed by the towers. So that gives you a good guess. You can always keep an eye on the water and you get the wind strength.
Ken here says it's a GoPro Karma.
Not happening.
And he bought it from Kelly Green.
Right now, where I'm flying from, the wind is probably about 5 to 10 miles per hour, so the wind is not bad at all.
Mike, we want to know what you're flying.
He won't hear you anymore. He's turned off the audio on his YouTube, I think, so you'll have to text or type him if you can.
I'm flying the Mavic Pro.
Oh, there we go. Mavic Pro.
Yep. 2 or the original?
I just switched my audio to Bluetooth.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm flying the Mavic Pro 2.
Yep.
Awesome. So while we're flying there, tell me, Kelly and John in the background, what's been happening for you in your parts of the world, respectively, either drone related or other topic related?
John, go ahead.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've had a great week. I've been down in country New South Wales. We did 3 days down there with the local land services, and they have a job for biosecurity, so looking for noxious weeds and chemicals, plants, all sorts of stuff. So we did a big workshop with them, which was fun, and another meeting with Cabone Council, who are going to take up a drone program in their area, LGA area as well. So it's been a really good week.
Okay. So lots of commercial stuff there. And what about you, Kelly? What's happening in your world?
Hey, so I actually had a big project at work that finished up today, so I'm super happy about that. Client was really happy, so that's paying the bills. But I have this low pro backpack, which I've had for a long time. I actually took this to Norway with me in 2017 with the Mavic Pro in it, but now it was in my garage, and I've just reincarnated it with my digital FPV system. So I got the DJI controller in there. The goggles are right there. Got a whole box, lipo-safe bag.
By the way,
full of
just so you know, Mike's on the screen and no one can see you at the moment. So you're going to have to show it to the camera in a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I've been flying the Gep RC rocket a lot with the DJI digital system, and it's awesome. I've got that packed and ready to go tomorrow. Wait, I want to hear about this thing.
That's what I was about to say. Backpack is interesting, but this is more fun.
This is way cooler.
And this is all live, everyone. Live, folks. Happening right now.
What a nice place to fly. You know, some interesting things to capture. Look
Where
at that.
I'm flying at right now, this is near the Shell oil refinery. This is a... This is an abandoned ship that has turned into its own little ecosystem. There are all kinds of inhabitants in here. There's birds living down in there, birds' nests.
My wife made a comment that that'd be a really good place with all of the weeds and things in the middle there to have a...
Sometimes we get some sea lions.
Plantation, shall we say? I'll leave that to imagination because how would they find that? Anyway, funny idea. Plantation in the middle of the sea.
Yeah, that's a real fixer-up of that one.
Not too dissimilar from your house, John.
Tater Rogers says that was Lloyd's boat before he retired.
Tater, bite me.
Tater. You know, Lloyd. I don't know if you've ever driven across the Red River into Texas. I'm sure you have.
This is where the oil tankers come in and dock to unload and load.
When you drive across the Red River, there's an abandoned boat that you can see, or at least it looks abandoned because I've done that drive many times, and it looks like it's been there for years. Next time, I'm going to fly my drone over it because
I think I know which one you're talking about, and I think it's been there long as it's been there a while, anyways.
Yeah, at least the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
because I was driving my kids up to Missouri for camp every year. Now, that didn't happen this year, unfortunately, but, you know.
So we've got our second person ready to come in. I'll go and get that person ready and be there in just a moment.
Well, that was a very cool flight, Mike Miller. Thank you.
Absolutely. That was great. Yeah, I do a lot of flying over water, and I actually like it.
Glad you enjoyed it.
I love the fact that the ground risk is so low when you're flying over water.
Yeah, it's the water risk at that point, right?
Yeah, it is really, but I find it relaxing because I don't have to worry about too much what's under me, you know, flying over water.
So now we've got Stingray in the background. Now, Stingray obviously is in a completely different location.
There we go.
It looks like Ireland. Stingray, where are you? Wait, I see a leprechaun.
No, that's just
me.
Art.
That's just okay.
Well, he is a lucky guy, so that would make sense.
He's going to kill me Sunday.
So we're just waiting for Stingray to take off, and obviously he's got a little bit of lag between him and us, so he's
Is Stingray
just
in
getting
your
ready.
Stingray in your chat? Let me see.
Can Lloyd, can you
Stingray.
type in both of the chats and let him know? Or while we're waiting for him, here we go. There's the final shot from our first
beautiful.
flyer.
Recovered.
Yeah.
So, Greg, while we're just watching here, can you briefly go through how this stream is working? So I'm sure some of the folks would love to know how you've set that up through a server.
Okay. So it's let's start at the beginning. I got 2 copies of Wirecast running, one on the broadcast PC that my wife has got over there, one on the laptop in front of me. The one on the laptop is pulling from a local Nginx proxy server. So it's pulling RTMP feeds from there, and it's the Nginx proxy that people are talking into. I hope that kind of makes sense.
Let's see if Grumpy Vlogger knows where this is at.
Oh, we got someone talking to Grumpy there. Where's this at, Grumps?
Yeah, actually, it looks like it's on the navigational canal here in Oklahoma. I may be wrong.
Navigational canal. This is where the Oklahoma seafood comes from. If you go to a sushi bar in Oklahoma, it was probably caught in that river right there, right?
Probably. No, it was shipped though. It was shipped up from the Gulf to there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But it does look. But I can't tell where he's standing because he's on the.
Oh, you are just talking about the Red River.
Yeah. Okay.
This is where the Red River and Texoma meet.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Water's full up there. Yeah, well, after I said the navigation canal, I started thinking, well, there's no parking area like that unless you go down by Three Forks Landing.
Right there's the dam.
Yeah, okay.
Is that a reservoir behind it, I guess? Like supplies one of the cities?
Lake Texarkana, probably.
Tater Rogers guessed the Grand Canyon.
No. We've got way too much green for the Grand Canyon. Yeah, it's Lake Texoma. That's what I thought.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really green. You must have had a lot of rain this year. For July, it's pretty green.
Yeah, well, we're still having rain right now. We had rain yesterday and today here in this area. Of course, that's further south.
So just a quick update for everyone. This is not the regular weekly OzByDrone Live. This is our monthly global fly-in where we invite you to be the pilot, to be the guest, the superstar on OzByDrone, simulcast onto Ready Set Drone, both channels. Go and get your drone out, put it up in the air, and you can send your video in and talk us through your part of the world and give us a virtual holiday wherever you happen to be.
Another nice spot to fly.
Yeah, it's all along that from the Red River heading straight up the Arkansas Oklahoma border there. It's just beautiful country. It's some of the prettiest part. You get out in the real western part of Oklahoma and there's nothing to look at but red dirt.
I always really like the area on the Canadian. I think it's called the Canadian River which is down near what is McAllister. I think McAllister's a really pretty town. Which is not too far from you.
Yeah, well, this here is, if it's where if I remember where Lake Texoma is, it's right down there on the border of it's right down there south of McAllister.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But this is where the Red River is back in Lake Texarkana meet. But I haven't been down. I haven't been down there for years.
No, it's Durant.
Oh, Durant.
Oh, it's Durant. Okay, all right, it's Durant.
Well, that's not too far from McAllister.
Well, that's what I mean. It's south. I knew it was south of McAllister, but couldn't remember the name of town.
The water actually looks really blue too.
Choctaw Casino, big. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice smooth shots, mate. That's real good.
You're close, Lloyd.
Yeah, I haven't been down there in years.
Well, you're back there now.
Yeah, I am. This is nice to see. That is really green for this time of year. In that part of the country, anyways.
So we still have Mike Miller in the background. I think he's changed battery, so...
Yeah, I think it's the algae in the water there. That's why it's so green.
Don't ruin it. We were thinking it was just really clean, pretty water for that Oklahoma sushi. That's why the sushi tastes so good.
No, the algae means you don't have to put any wasabi on it.
I'm still broadcasting.
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
So we've got 2 people flying at the moment.
Nice.
Mike's
California
ready to
and
go up again.
Oklahoma. Durant is how real Okies pronounce it. I like that. And Eat More Possum. I don't think I've ever seen Eat More Possum in the chat before, but I like that screen name, Eat More Possum. That's
Yep, Durant.
Take off.
I had a German short-hair pointer that agreed with your screen name. He was always trying to eat more possum.
I will say that's something I haven't had is possum stew, and I don't ever intend to.
So my German short-hair pointer, who is no longer with us, but one night years ago, he actually got a possum in the backyard, shook it, did all that stuff to it. I finally got him away from it, and I thought it was dead. And of course, it was just playing possum. I took him inside, came back out, and that thing was gone.
Yeah, we actually had a groundhog up here, a woodchuck, get in our yard here in town. And my Boston Terrier was raising a ruckus. I went, and she was a little bitty thing, but I went out there and looked at her, and her face is covered in blood. And I thought, man, she'd been in a terrible fight. And she wouldn't let me clean her off. And finally, I thought, I didn't know what it was. And finally, I got her in there, and one of the other dogs let her clean her face, and she didn't have a scratch on her. But let me tell you, that woodchuck out there got tore up by that little, especially with that stubby nose. I don't know how it ever got any blood out of it, but it did, man. It tore that.
How much blood would a woodchuck bleed if a woodchuck could bleed?
Exactly, yeah.
While we're watching here, we'll go through some of the news stories in the background. So before we start to talk about the news here, just a quick comment that OzByDrone News is brought to you by Air Data UAV. Is your drone healthy, or is it about to surprise you on your next flight? Don't wait to find out. Discover under the hood information and review the early signs of problems before you take off again. Use discount code OzByDrone20 for a 20% discount. There's a link in the description from OzByDrone on that channel. We're coming in for a landing on that one there. We can see Mike Miller is frozen at the moment, otherwise I would bring him up as well.
Well, nice flight, Stingray. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Good show. Very smooth.
Yeah, buzzed all the bass fishermen. They love that. So there's this movie, if you guys have never seen it, it's called Okie Noodling. Lloyd, have you ever done any noodling?
No, I'm not that crazy.
John and Greg, do you guys know what, let's stump the Oz's for a minute. Do you guys know what noodling is?
I never heard of that.
Greg?
I've heard of canoodling.
No.
That's
Just
not
plain
it.
old, anyone in the chat know what noodling? I'm going to guess that Stingray knows what noodling is because of exactly where he is.
And Tater probably does.
Tater's probably done it. Tater,
Yeah.
You're a noodler. Come on. Okay, Agent K says you're not a noodler. Hand fishing. Yep, Mike B. So these guys who noodle, they put their hand in a hole and they pull out these giant catfish. And I'm not talking about like 20 pounds. I'm talking about like 120-pound catfish. It is. Yeah, Tater Rogers has noodled. Tater Rogers for the win.
Big. Yep.
There's a great movie called Okie Noodling, if you want to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Documentary about noodling. But I would never do that. I'm not scared of heights. I'm not scared of fast speed. I am terrified of putting my hand in a hole and not being able to see what the hell's in the hole.
Okay.
Yeah, Christian Iverson, yes, it is catfish that they're noodling for.
Yes.
And them suckers, they get, sometimes you can get an arm tore up doing that. I've seen a couple of guys do that.
Well, Tater Rogers said he caught a 60-pound catfish in Dearborn Bayou. I need to hang out with Tater more because he's I want to go. I want to go noodling, but I don't actually want to do it. You put your hand in the hole, you let the catfish bite the hand, and then you just pull it out and fry it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Now,
we got a way of
catfish are good.
we got a way of crocodile fishing like that in Australia, but you only do it once.
And then your name is Lefty.
Yeah, that's right. You go
Why
mix
do
it
they
up
call
with
you Lefty? Because I tried to crocodile fish twice. Well, no, I guess that wouldn't even be Lefty. It'd be nothing.
Stumpy.
Stumpy, yeah.
That joke was just not right.
I left.
Oh, goodness.
Moving on, let's go to our first news story while we wait and see who else joins us to share their flights today.
I think 400 AGL is going to join us, by the way. I saw he said he was going to get a drone in the air.
I am looking at the server. Don't have him in yet, but we'll bring him up.
Be great to have some FPV.
Oh, I've got Jeff. Look, let's do the first news story and then we'll bring up Jeff. First news story is this. A new US bill is requiring law enforcement to get judges' approval before conducting surveillance if enacted. The bill, called the Facial Recognition Technology Warrant Act, would require federal law enforcement to obtain a warrant to use facial recognition to track someone in real time for longer than 3 days. And that would also limit it to 30 days. Why is this of interest? Because they're also talking about it in the context of drones using facial recognition technology. Now, we've got a couple of Americans over here today on our panel. What do you think of this one, Lloydie and Kelly?
Well, I didn't get from your headline. Are you saying they're going to make facial recognition with drones illegal, or they're saying that they're
going to have a warrant? It's going to be regulated. They'll have to.
Yeah, hell yeah, they need a warrant before they start doing that.
So is this video showing here? Yeah. It's it's a federal thing. It's a federal thing. So but
if you're just walking down the street, I guess if you're a suspect and I guess if there's probable cause, then you can get a warrant, right? If
that would be the assumption.
Warrant, and then they could do it. But I just think, to be walking down the street, first of all, it's going to really turn people off to drones if that's happening often. So that's my biggest concern. But I feel like you got to weigh those things, right? The price of freedom versus catching the bad guys. To me, the price of freedom cost on that and the downside to the drone community outweighs the catching the bad guys side. There's other ways to catch the bad guys.
The thing that caught me was when it says longer than 3 days. I'm thinking, well, if you can't get facial recognition on the guy in 3 days, then what the hell are you doing there in the first place?
Yeah.
So
that's right.
To me,
He's already committed a crime.
Yeah, if you don't know by now, you need to go back to police academy.
Speaking of going back somewhere, let's go back to Jeff.
No, I'm doing a live stream. So
there's Jeff Sills and his kids.
I know where you are.
Oops. There we go.
Famous last words.
I know he's in the Houston area. I just don't know where in Houston. Does anybody know what part of town Jeff's in Houston?
All right, so we're going to try this. There's a nice delay here.
Yeah, Jeff, tell us what part of Houston you're in. And is your drone wearing a mask? Because we hear Houston's really bad.
Oh, gotta love the sun flare.
Very nice.
I was waiting for that to see if that was going to happen.
Yeah, nice. I'm getting a little bit of dropout.
There's a really big delay. A nice little area. And
yeah, we're having fun with Jeff's internet.
Well, Tater. I wanted to let Grumpy have a
whatever it was he wanted me to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep talking because that. See if I can focus here.
Well, that is pretty.
These are our ponds.
Jeff, do you noodle? No answer.
There's a delay there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we live in a fairly rural area, sort of outside of the beaten path. Not a lot of COVID out here. And 5 minutes later, I'm going to reply back to you that no, I do not noodle.
Okay. Yeah,
it's coming.
Kid wanted to know the same thing.
So, but yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to quickly flip to Mike Miller's still out there, and he was chasing this down the river there.
Oh.
Let's see if we can bring both of them in there.
All right, we'll have a little bit more fun with you guys. So, let's see if we can get a little bit more entertainment here.
Are you going to tap dance, Jeff?
I think Mel is ready, he said, and
I've got someone else as well.
Oh, that's Fly Natural, Roosevelt. I'm watching two different streams here. I'm trying to see who said what next. Which
Sportman.
Now, guys, I'm going to ask our audience to do a little bit of voting here. Who's got the best flight of the day?
Because I don't see it.
I've got you on the screen.
What do you see?
I've got you on the screen. I've got you and Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the audience to pick who has the best flight of the day.
Oh.
So far, we've had Mike Miller, we've had Stingray, we've had Jeff Sills. That's Mike on the left and Jeff on the right.
I got to say, this is my favorite shot of the
Leave
day.
it in sport mode here and go darting
facing
across
this
the
tugboat.
neighborhood real fast. So just to have a little bit of fun.
So far, that's my favorite one, yeah. It's a little bit twitchy with the network, but it's a beautiful, beautiful shot there.
Hey Jeff, what part of Houston are you in? Did you already say?
Here's Jeff back. Let me find Jeff. There's Jeff. Jeff, what part of Houston are you in?
Looks like northwest or northeast. Lots of trees.
Now, I've got yet another stream up. I'm not exactly sure who this one is. Let's see if I can bring all three of you up, and maybe a fourth one. We've got Mel ready to go as well. I'll see if I can bring up a four shot.
that would probably be Fly Natural, Roosevelt.
That's a pretty. That would be two Arkansas if we get both those guys going.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can bring all three of you up, and maybe a fourth one. We've got Mel ready to go.
Let's see. Yeah, that's Fly Natural. That's Roosevelt.
Nice. Well, that's a pretty spot.
Yeah.
What city, Fly Natural or Roosevelt? Are you in Bentonville? What part of Arkansas?
Yep.
Oh, Jeff's coming in for a landing.
Sorry. See if I can get another one up.
What
city, Financial or Roosevelt, are you in Bentonville?
Benton.
Oh, just come back for landing. Sorry.
All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down. It's been an awful lot of fun. Glad.
Nice hat, Jeff. I like your hat.
So let's see if we can bring in Mel as well.
Battery level is low. The aircraft will go to the home point in 10 seconds.
Mike Miller was saying that he was having a lot of lag problems there for a little bit, so.
Well, you got a super chat from Wayne King.
Wayne King, yeah, I just saw it pop up.
Wayne, thank you very, very much for being one of our regular supporters. Very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wayne King tonight.
Someone's coming in for a landing there.
I know that sound.
So right now we've got 400 AGL Mel in the bottom right-hand corner.
We got Fly Natural, Roosevelt in the bottom left corner.
Thanks.
And Mike Miller's in the top left corner.
You can mute Mike.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to.
I can't make the beeping stop.
I want to give a shout out to Irvin Fuller, who's watching, and he's driving right now. So Irvin, don't text and drive, but good to see. Good to see, or maybe he's just listening. But thanks for tuning in, Irvin. Irvin's in Houston as well, so I hope you're doing well over there. I talked to my parents today. They are in total shutdown mode right now. First Line Tributes wants to know if he can stream with his Spark. Anybody know?
As long as you're using DJI Go 4, you can absolutely stream, and Spark, I believe, uses Go 4, so it should be good.
Yeah, it does.
Peter
We've got a
Rogers
slot up there in the
everybody
top
Wayne
right.
King tonight and put a whole song together. Audi says he likes the tugboat shot the most. That was a cool shot. I also really like the harbor here too.
Yeah.
So whoever's got the best shot of the day today is going to be winning a copy of NoLimitDronez. So you'll be able to modify and tweak your drone to your heart's content.
Breaking the
So
law.
far-
Breaking the law.
No.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law. Anyone? Judas Priest, British Steel, Rob Halford.
That explains so much about you, Kelly.
Who's the drama?
It's your taste in music that corrupted you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I was a big punk rock metalhead back in the day. But you know what, Lloyd? I also appreciate Willie and Waylon and let's see. I always loved singing. I always loved singing Ray Wiley Hubbard.
Oh.
He was born in Oklahoma. His wife's name is Betty Lou Thelma Liz.
Like I said before, you guys should change your therapist.
Whoa! What was that? We got a little snake there.
That's a gimbal,
We had a gimbal flop.
Yep, gimbal flop. Here we go again. Yeah.
Tater Rogers says his favorite Judas Priest song is Turbo Lover. That's a good one. I think mine's probably Living After Midnight.
That's what I call
three chords.
our local Pentagon.
Oh, look at that!
Wow, what is that, Roosevelt? I mean, actually is a pentagon.
Yeah.
Is that a hotel or a office building or what?
I'm just going to switch for a minute for this landing over here.
Hey, there's Lloyd.
No,
I'm sorry,
Mel.
there's Mel.
Mel, the other one.
the other.
He's got more hair than me today.
You're both on my screen, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Mel has the beard.
Man.
Okay, we've seen Mel. I'm going to go back to that Pentagon shot.
Right next to our complex.
What is it?
Nice
What is it,
setup.
Roosevelt? What's the purpose of that building? It'll take him a minute to get that message. Kelly to Roosevelt. What's the purpose of that building?
If he gets shot down, I think we'll know.
Yeah.
Right. No, it actually is the Pentagon. You shouldn't fly a drone over the Pentagon.
I'm not sure. I think it's like a nursing home or something.
Oh, wow.
That's
nursing home for ex-military.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where all the
That's
all the
where
old
you'll be
soldiers
going
go to die.
That's where you'll be going in a few years, Lloyd.
Yeah, I know.
But Lloyd wouldn't shoot it down. He'd fly a drone up there with it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I told my boys, I said, now after Mom passes and I start getting a little senile, and you have to put me in a home, that's fine. Just make sure all the nurses on my wing have big hooters, and I'll be happy. I may not know what they are, but at least I'll be happy.
What do you mean after you get a bit senile?
Hey, there's Roosevelt. Looking good.
Yeah, man.
Fly Natural.
Good seeing you.
If you guys haven't subscribed to Fly Natural, go do it. Go do it. He does.
Absolutely.
He does some cool sunrise shots, just like Chris Hope and some of the other folks. Old guy and is it Drone Bum does the
Drone Bum? Yeah, Drone Bum.
And speaking of subscribing to Fly Natural, also if you're watching on OzByDrone, subscribe to Ready Set Drone, and if you're watching on Ready Set Drone, come subscribe to OzByDrone. Lloyd can go and throw a link to each of those channels in each other so that people can work out where to get the other channel from.
Yeah, and I just want to say too, thank you to Greg for putting this on with OzByDrone. I mean, I didn't do anything; I just show up, and so it's pretty cool that he lets me stream this on my channel as well. So if you are watching on Ready Set Drone, it would be very cool if you jumped over to OzByDrone and hit the subscribe button, because I know Greg would appreciate it.
Oh shucks.
That's nice. That's good. I'm getting great pictures today from all of these feeds. They're amazing.
That's because you got something besides kangaroo internet today.
Yeah. Crocodile internet.
That's what they need to
Kangaroo internet. That's a didgeridoo.
They need to actually call the NBN kangaroo internet because it's always going up and down.
Oh, wow. Oh, I see a prop. Who are we watching now?
Yeah.
Mel?
This one is...
So Brad Hendo on my channel is asking how to get in on this. Brad, if you scroll up higher in the chat, there is a link that you can see, and you basically paste that into your RTMP settings in DJI Go 4, and it will broadcast to us. I know it sounds crazy, but it works.
Yes, it certainly does.
So while we're waiting for the next... Sorry? Go, John.
We had that little skip before, just if anyone's interested, when you get the gimbal flop, sometimes you'll get that when you're doing a fast sideways transition, and the gimbal is trying to keep up with the camera somewhat. So sometimes it's good, obviously when you land you can do a auto calibration on the gimbal, may fix it, but the other times when the drone reaches a certain angle, depending on the wind, and you're doing a fast fly sideways, the gimbal will do that. There we go again. There it is right there. Yeah, as it comes through. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that does happen from time to time. There it is. And the gimbal will try and reset itself. If it doesn't, if it stays in the flop mode, of course, you'll a little bit of a struggle to get home. But as long as you've got GPS, of course, you're fine.
Yeah, I used to actually have that quite regularly with my my first Phantom 4 Pro. and there was actually a hardware fault that required DJI to fix that, but they acknowledged that and fixed that under warranty. So if you do get the gimbal flop regularly, take your bird in to be serviced. The other thing is, obviously, as John said, if it's at a big angle, test it in low wind conditions before you make an assumption that there's a hardware fault.
Yep, that's right.
The other thing you can do is open up DJI Assistant and calibrate it. You can do a lot of calibration stuff in DJI Assistant that you can't do in the app. So I would recommend doing that before sending it in.
That'll work too. You often find, though, that the Mavics don't tend to do it because the gimbal is shielded much more, the way the gimbal is mounted. It's the Phantom 4 camera, of course, is exposed to the breeze. And the other thing you're getting is you actually, as you're flying sideways, you get some turbulence from the landing gear legs. And that seems to swirl around the gimbal a little bit and give it a bit of grief.
Yeah. So
Mel
some
said
beautiful
the reason
footage.
he sat down was because he's getting eaten up by mosquitoes.
He needs to buzz them with the drone. I mean, drones are like natural gator killers.
So it's not just Australia that has bitey animals then?
No.
We've got those catfish. If you stick your finger in the hole, boom, out they come. Actually, I think that stops right at the border.
I got a high wind velocity on that first one.
Yep. High wind velocity is
and I got
an
one
alert
on
coming
that
up
second
there.
one as well.
Yeah.
Are we watching Fly Natural right now?
Yeah.
We are. What I'm seeing, Dennis Court?
Yeah.
So we've got a pretty static shot there. I might.
He's coming down. I think he was
coming down. Yeah.
I think he was. That's a nice little pond in there. That's a real pretty area. So Roosevelt, are you at home? Are you sitting outside your complex? You said, just right in your area. That's real nice. Oh, there he is.
Yep.
I can see him right there.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's coming through those trees tonight. Nobody's afraid to come through the trees fast.
No, it looks pretty calm, actually. It doesn't look like there's much wind.
Yeah, looks like a nice evening.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
Take off.
Is that a touch and go? Take off?
I'm at home, Kelly. I'm right here in my front porch.
Okay, we'll leave Fly Natural there for a little while and have a pause from those and go to our second news story of the day and wait for a couple more people to come in. Let's see who comes in today. The second story is Azure Drones, a French-based provider of autonomous surveillance drones, entered a new partnership with Axis Communications. The combination of autonomous surveillance drones and network video should create a compelling solution for securing sensitive sites. Or is it going too far? There's the question for the chat today. The Azure signature solution is Sky eTech, which is a drone-in-a-box solution that allows you to go and take off pretty quickly. The Axis detection sensors include thermal cameras and radars and can effectively detect site intrusions 24 hours a day. Let's just have a quick look at the video for this one.
Breakthrough technology requires vision. To develop it, ambition, passion, and collaboration.
Is this a partnership with Parrot?
Established practices.
So this is Azure Drones, a French drone manufacturer, and the company Axis. Are you familiar with Axis?
Are they Israeli?
I don't know. I think Axis is actually maybe a US company. I'm not 100% sure, but I've used them before, and they do a lot of video over IP web cameras for security and surveillance. So that's their kind of.
That is a very cool looking drone. I would definitely fly that. That thing is. I mean, I think if you're asking about if you're asking the opinion about the this stuff and whether it's stepping over a line, the technology is going to happen, right? It's going to happen one way or the other. This sort of thing is going to become more common, whether it's the surveillance or the drone in the box or the thermal imaging to detect people. It's just a matter of how do we keep up with how it's used and use it in a way that, again, balances the catch the bad guys with the personal liberty.
Yeah. So I'll leave that there, and I'll just go back to John and Kelly for a minute. John, I'll get you to recenter yourself when I put this on the screen. There we go. Actually, go to the 3-shot with me in the middle. There we go. So I'm curious, John, what's your thought on this? I mean, what I'm predicting, Axis is doing exactly what we saw in the first clip, right? So doing facial recognition. That's what I'm predicting that this is going to be all about. And that's why I bundled the two together. They've got the legislation saying you need a warrant, but your average end user drone is going to be able to do facial recognition soon. Is that too much, too fast? What do you guys think?
It's going to be an interesting time. I mean, you know, many people have video cameras around their houses now that look out onto the street. We know that a lot of cameras are in the streets, malls, shopping malls, shops, banks, everywhere. We've got this incredible proliferation of cameras. Now, AI or facial recognition is just an extension of what you do with that video imaging. And I absolutely agree with Kelly about the boundaries have got to be set. So in this country anyway, we have laws about surveillance and tracking. So you're not actually allowed to track someone using technology without their consent. And you're going to see things like entering a shopping centre. It's going to say video surveillance is used in here. You know, it's going to be a condition that you enter a certain area, like it would be, and so that they can monitor that kind of thing. I think you're going to see, perhaps, you know, even from the things we've seen with COVID, thermal cameras that can measure your temperature, so that if you walk into a shopping area and your temperature's too high, a buzzer's going to go off, and there's going to be bio settings as well. So agreeing with Kelly, the technology is going to happen. Do you want that level of safety? If you went to a shopping centre, would you be comfortable knowing that your temperature is being read, as is everyone else's, and perhaps that level of health and safety is appropriate? So, you know, there's going to be a lot of questions about it. I think the technology is going to go ahead anyway. And as I say, we really don't know how it's being used now. I think that's the question that we're really asking. What's the extent of it at the moment?
Yeah. Look, an interesting topic nonetheless, and interesting to see that the legislation is happening in parallel to the reality of what's out there in the marketplace. One little observation real quick, Greg. Ultimately, is face recognition going to work right now? Because most people look like this currently. A lot of people look like this. And so maybe facial recognition is not all it's cracked up to be, because it's very, very easy to fool. Yeah, very good.
Sure doesn't work on my phone.
Not with a mask on, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you put the mask on.
That's the other issue too. I mean, if you've got a phone in your pocket, the rest is easy.
Yeah. Let me just briefly talk about what that legislation is going to look like, I think. Facial recognition ultimately is dependent on matching against known people. So if you've got a person with a warrant out against them, they will have certain biometric characteristics of their face. And those biometric characteristics, if there's a warrant out for them, can be loaded up into either drones or other city, county, state surveillance cameras and so forth. As soon as that person's detected, they know where they are. So theoretically, anyone who doesn't match, they're not in the database. They can go and walk on by and nothing happens, but it'll just trigger and flag whenever it's someone that's matched. It's a warrant for the loading of that face into the database that's going to happen.
Yeah, but what do you do when it makes a mistake, right? And they're convinced. I mean, these things are accurate, but they're not foolproof. They're not 100% accurate. And again, just the whole idea from a sort of perspective of what the public thinks about the court of public opinion about drones is that when you hear these things bundled with drones, it just makes everybody nervous, you know, and it makes people think that drones are. It's funny. I don't know if anybody uses TubeBuddy, but TubeBuddy is a plugin that you can plug into your YouTube account into Chrome, and it'll show you a bunch of different information that you can't see just using the YouTube analytics. And one of the things it shows you is all the tags that people use in their drone videos. And some of the most popular tags for drone videos have to do with spying and have to do with, drones creeping and facial, it's a bunch of, like, when I start seeing all these tags that people are using, I'm like, really? Anyway, we just have to be good ambassadors.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have anyone up on the screen at the moment. We've got a little bit of time left. Let's do one more story, or no, let's do two actually. We'll do the next one. Drones are going to be patrolling Australian waters. Australia will soon use drones to patrol its waters between Botany Bay and Ulladulla along the coast of New South Wales, Australia. These autonomous drones will be used to detect and investigate unauthorised vessels along with capturing weather data at the same time. Last month, a contract worth $5.5 million was signed, and that's 5.5 Australian, was signed to further develop autonomous unmanned surface vessels as well. The use of drones in border protection is the first move as part of this contract. They're going to have radar. They're going to detect illegal vessels and then relay information back to the operating centre. And once they do that, an operator will take control and head out towards the unauthorised boat.
And so if there's a fish that isn't authorized in the area, they'll have facial recognition.
Let's not go there.
Fin recognition technology.
I want to see what it's like in a Force 9 storm. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. 30 knots westerly.
Yeah. Wow. So these are surface-based as well as air-based drones as part of that surveillance network. Anyway, that's an interesting one. I think it's a good use of it, especially in border protection. I know the US certainly have their technology they use. We've got more water, so a combination of those technologies will be good for us. We're going to go to the
Smith and Wesson.
We're going to go to the last story in our list today, 1.12. Heat-seeking drones are a cheaper, more efficient way to find koalas. Last summer's catastrophic bushfires burnt about 1/4 of New South Wales koala habitat. On the state's mid-north coast, an estimated 30% of koalas were killed. Koalas camouflage very well and are notoriously difficult to detect. Traditional methods, such as scat surveys or spotlighting with head torches, are often considered either too localised or too labour-intensive and costly to efficiently locate and count koalas. Drone technology, of course, is able to assess koala population using heat-detecting drones to find koalas at night, and this is exactly what they've started doing now as part of the post-bushfire assistance that they're providing to the koalas in Australia.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, it's pretty hot.
I wonder what aircraft is that? I wonder, because a lot of people ask, whether the Mavic Enterprise is possible with that sort of thermal camera. It's a pretty good camera, but of course there are much better ones. But I'm just wondering what it's shot with.
Yeah, it didn't show us.
Koalas, how much do koalas typically weigh? What's the weight of a koala?
Oh, they're a little bit about half the weight of a drop bear.
Half the weight of a drop bear, did you say?
Was told us in the metric system. So, but I guess my point is that the Mavic 2 Enterprise's FLIR is not quite as sensitive as some of the bigger ones with bigger sensors, and so I don't know if it would be enough to pick up if koalas are. I don't really have any size perspective. Is it?
I just googled it. I just googled it. Average weight for a normal koala is from 20 to 30 pounds. Females weigh less than males by 5 to 10 pounds because of eating a little less.
They're like a mid-sized dog, basically.
Yeah,
they're like one of Lloyd's dogs. Actually, they're probably bigger. They probably eat Lloyd's. They could probably eat Lloyd's dogs.
Not all of them. I've got one dog that weighs 120 pounds.
Oh, okay. That'd be a koala feast right there. Send Lloyd's dog to the koalas. They need it.
I think mostly an X-T2 would be the best camera that's ready available for that sort of work. You can hang it off an Inspire as well, but it's got a lot more sensitivity than the Mavic has.
Yeah. So, look, an interesting story. We reached the end of our show just about today. I just want to give one last opportunity for anyone that wants to fly. I'm looking at the dashboard.
Fly Natural said he could fly again. He has 2 more batteries, but he was going to go somewhere else, but it'd probably be a little while. So if we're wrapping up, then we're wrapping up. But whatever you guys want to do.
Well, we can chat a little bit more. Let's, John, talk about a little bit about some of your BVLOS stuff. How's that going? I mean, we talked about it briefly last time, but
yeah, it's good. We on Wednesday night this week we did our first night visual line of sight down in Murray Bateman, and that was a really good exercise. One of the interesting things that happened, and those of you that know your return to home function as well, we did an exercise where we flew the aircraft out beyond 50 metres and then turned the controller off. So if you know how the return to home works well, if in a fail-safe return to home, the aircraft will retrace its steps for the last 60 seconds that it flew. It'll hover for 10 seconds, and then it'll climb to return to home height and then fly home. Now, that can be confusing if you're not used to seeing that, if you've never witnessed the airplane doing that. It's a bit concerning because we were standing there in pitch darkness, and we had the strobe lights on the aircraft, and all of a sudden, when I shut the controller down at about 70 metres range, which is quite close in, the pilot who was doing his assessment had a bit of a fright because the airplane just started wandering off in a direction he wasn't expecting. So there was some good stuff that came out of the training for it, but it's going well. We need to rack up as many hours as we can trying this. And as interest probably to our listeners, EV loss, if you like, is a situation where you can fly your aircraft beyond your line of sight up to 1,500 metres legally, but you know exactly where the aircraft is, and you're able to see the surrounding airspace. We call it the relevant airspace. Now, we actually think in a few years that is going to be available to all of us, and provided you can mitigate the risk, and of course the airplane will have ADS-B in and so forth. But that's going to be a really big jump for everyone in terms of the legal aspect of being able to see your aircraft, what we term visual line of sight and what we're going to call extended visual line of sight. So look out for that one. But we're going to keep flying it. If anyone's interested in that kind of thing, you can go to our website and check out some of our stuff and learn more about flying those greater ranges. One of the other things quickly, just to wrap that up, is that the pilots that are starting to fly this now, that we're sort of training, notice how critical it is to keep an eye on your fuel. And so before we take off, before we punch the throttle up, you have to say to your observer, I intend to land or return at home with 35% of my fuel left. Actually decide what your bingo fuel is, and when you're out at a longer range, have a thing there as well that you've predetermined before you take off what your bingo fuel setting is. And those sort of things, that type of discipline is really good for managing your aircraft if you're going to fly at extended ranges. So yeah, it was a fun week to do that at night.
Yeah, just a couple. That's good information, John. I've just posted the URL for your channel into both of the chats there, and I just saw a reminder from Mike B that we've got a giveaway of a NoLimitDronez license today. I was thinking of giving it to the best flight of the day. What do you guys think?
I love the dart shot myself. I thought that was beautifully done.
Yeah, the one of the tugboat.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that was my favorite as well. That was Viper.
I believe that was Mike Miller.
No, it was it? Oh, it was Mike Miller.
No, it was Mike Miller.
Yeah, it was Mike. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was really nice.
And that's pretty much the consensus of those that voted, was that definitely.
Hang on, my producer's talking to me. Hang on. That's the same person, Mike Miller. My wife liked the derelict boat that was sitting there with the grass and the field in the middle of the sea. She liked that as well.
All the boats. Anytime you get big boats, I'm going to be in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I'm going to be on the St. Lawrence River, and there are freighters that go right by the place where we're staying, and it's pretty cool because I'm going to have a lot of freighter shots. As a matter of fact, if you do this while I'm up there, I'll try to get a freighter shot for you.
Sounds good. Sounds absolutely good. So Mike Miller, at the end of the show today, join us on Discord. I'll give you your key today. Also, there was someone who won a license previously and we didn't get in touch properly. I can't even remember who it was now. If you remember that was you, come and say hello in Discord. Lloyd, can you post the Discord link in there? And that would help. That'd be great. One other thing briefly, Elliot and Nick's family. So Elliot is a 3-year-old that had a heart transplant recently, and Nick is one of our regulars. Certainly in the OzByDrone chat, we've been posting a link there to help them out. Something when you, whoops, I'll do that again. When you're dealing with something of that magnitude, a 3-year-old child having a heart transplant, it's good that you've got insurance, but it never covers everything. So if you want to chip into the GoFundMe, I'm sure that'll be well received by them. Something from the drone community.
How's Elliot doing?
He's been doing well. He's recovered well and doing well. I've spoken to Nick a couple of times in chat. He may be in there now. So far, we've raised $270 out of a $1,000 target. He does have a second GoFundMe that is non-drone community related, but we started this directly ourselves. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that Elliot did have that's a big deal. And so I wish him the best.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Other than that, a couple of quick community service announcements. If you do want to send anything to us, send it to upload@gregkuhnert.com. Normally I have a pretty slide that comes up about here, but I'm using the computer for the streaming, so no slide today. Upload@gregkuhnert.com. And we'll see you next time. That's about all. Last words from John?
Hey, thanks everybody. Fly safe. Really loved flying today from my lounge room and checking out those great shots. Just well done, everybody. Really good work.
And Kelly, last words from you?
Thank you, Greg, for putting this on and for letting me co-stream it. Very awesome. Like I said, if you haven't checked out OzByDrone, as well as the Grumpy Vlogger, you need to go check out both of those guys online because they both do awesome live streams as well as videos. And then I just wanted to real quick plug tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central U.S. time, whatever that is for you. I will be doing my weekly Speed Dial, which is a call-in show. We've added video to Speed Dial. I did it with Original Dobo last week. And tomorrow I'm just going to let anybody who wants to hop on with me hop on and we'll just chat. So it'll be like an hour of chatting with anybody who wants to get on. So join me on Ready, Set, Drone tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Sounds good. And last one from Lloydie.
Well, appreciate you guys having me. It's always fun when Kelly's here, and I even got a haircut so I'd fit in with all of you folks.
Good,
I want to
put Lloyd back there for a minute, please, to my producer. Just to share, before the show started today, we actually had to do some camera adjustments because there was just so much reflection from his head coming in. We needed to change the white balance. Yeah. He needed to adjust the lighting.
Yeah, it was it was bad.
Hey guys, this is if you don't know who you're voting for already, this is your number one write-in candidate right here, Lloyd.
Yeah, if you want to waste your vote, waste it on me.
Okay, that's about all we got time for. It's been fun having everyone here. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you.
See you, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.